All right, let's go on to the third and final game on Friday night. Boise State at UTEP. UTEP 16-point home dog here, over under 45.5. Miner Nation, we are home. We are back. I'm going to the well for the first time this year. We're going Miners, baby. Get their first cover of the season. They're 1-3, 0-4 against the spread. Colin is showing the Miner Nation helmet, a beautiful helmet right now. And if we can get this cover, we can hear from our friend in Miner Nation. We can all enjoy some pizza over the weekend for the first time on the voicemails. 959 bad beat, by the way. Call over the weekend for whatever you want to call about. But I just think this number is too high. Not a great spot for Boise. Short week going to UTEP. You got San Diego State start a conference play on deck, and it's a large number for an inept offense to cover. And this offense, the Boise State offense, has been a mess. The quarterback play has been inconsistent. Hank Bachmeier also left last week's game with an injury. I think he's going to play, but something to note. Their offensive line has been a disaster. The receivers cannot get any separation. They really miss Shakir, who's now with the Bills. And, UTEP's offense is a snail. We know that. And they're also awful. Last year, they were one of the most inefficient offenses in college football. They still won 7 games because of explosiveness. Hard to repeat when you no longer have Jacob Cowing, who's now with Arizona. He was really their entire offense. Defensively, both of these teams have been stronger up front. Boise State's linebackers and defensive line have been really good. UTEP's strength is their defensive line. They blitz their linebackers a lot. They are missing their top linebacker, who's still ineligible, led them in tackles last year. They have a rebuilt secondary, which is vulnerable, but Boise can't really throw the ball. And Tim Cloud, the offensive coordinator, he's getting a lot of heat in Boise for his play calling. He came out earlier this week and said, look, we want to huddle up more. We want to run the ball. We want to become a more methodical offense. So, yeah, they're not really – I don't think they're going to test UTEP's secondary as much as some teams can. Now, you have to hope UTEP doesn't turn it over a million times. UTEP turned it over 6 times last year and gave up a punt return touchdown and got blown out at Boise. Last week, they got blown out by New Mexico. They had 7 turnovers, including a pick 6. Can't do that. The way UTEP is really close in this game is if they hit some of the explosive pass plays, which Boise has given up. And I think they'll likely be without 2 starters in the secondary who got hurt last week against an FCS opponent. One of them got carted off. So there might be some opportunities for Garrett Hardison to hit a couple explosive passing plays here. But I like this under. I'm going to play the under small, especially now with Boise saying they just want to run it and go in the huddle more. And catching 16 at home in a game that I think is going to be extremely slow and low scoring in a good spot for a Miner Nation off of a bad loss. I'll take UTEP plus 16, baby. Miner Nation.
Yeah, I project Boise at 16. I project a total of 41.5. So really, from a numbers perspective, this thing has still got some meat on the bone from a totals. Like I completely expecting this to go under, even after the steam that's hit it this week. Opener of 49.5 all the way down to 45.5. And UTEP took, sharp money on Sunday on opener, Monday. So that's definitely going to be the side. But both of these offenses have just been lifeless in scoring position. That's why I like the under better, and I like UTEP because Boise's 113th in pace. They want to be slower. They've only had 16 drives go past the 40-yard line. When UTEP and their 22 trips past the 40-yard line, they've averaged 2.2 points. That's not a lot. You got to give the Boise defense some credit. 4th best in passing down success rate. And, Gavin Hardison had 7 turnovers, 3 INTs. UTEP had 7 turnovers against New Mexico last week. It's a tougher buy for me on UTEP. I can get into the under. I would like another point, maybe 17 on UTEP before I consider buying them, but that's the side.